Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of DVD Perk Encyclopedia, where I break down all of the survivor perks in Dead by Daylight in potato terms to make them a little bit easier to understand. Today, we're looking at my girl Zarina, who is my main, and her 3 teachable perks: For the People, Red Herring, and Off the Record. Let's get into it. For the People is a clutch healing perk that you can actually trade a health state with them in order to heal them. How it works is that when you are healthy, you will have an activate ability button that will show up at the bottom of your screen. Press that button to trade your healthy health state to the survivor that you are trying to heal. Once you use this perk, you are broken for 60 seconds. So keep that in mind of when and where you're going to be using this. Another thing that really is kind of a bonus with this perk is that you become the obsession. So you can pair this with other perks that work with the obsession trait and make some interesting combos along the way. Zarina's next teachable perk, Red Herring, requires you to repair a generator for at least 3 seconds, and once you do that, it will be highlighted in yellow to you. It will remain that way until either the gen is fully repaired, or you repair a new generator, and last but not least, when you enter a locker. The whole thing with Red Herring is when you enter the locker after repairing it for 3 seconds, it will give a loud noise indicator to the killer. This is supposed to get the killer to come over to the gen, maybe to distract them from chase, or maybe just to show that maybe a gen is getting more progress than they're aware of. You can only use Red Herring once every 40 seconds, so keep that in mind when you're using this perk. And last but not least is Off the Record. Off the Record gives you 80 seconds of endurance, and while this perk is active, it does not show your aura to the killer, and all of your grunts of pains are completely silent. Something to keep in mind with Off the Record is that once the exit gates are powered, the perk is disabled, so you will not get any of the benefits once that happens. Also, any conspicuous action that you do while you have endurance will automatically end the endurance early. So, if you are planning on taking chase immediately after, then you don't have to worry about it, but if you heal, unhook, repair gen, then you will no longer have the endurance status effect. And those are Zarina's 3 teachable perks. I really love playing as Zarina. I do think that the majority of her perks are kind of all over the place as far as balance is concerned. Off the Record got that huge buff when Dead Hard was changed the first time, and I do think that it is slightly overpowered in my honest opinion. 80 seconds of endurance is kind of insane if you ask me, and this is coming from somebody who plays 99.87% survivors, so take that with a grain of salt, if you will, but I do think that something needs to change with the way that Off the Record has been working lately, but before the buff, it was actually pointless. Red Herring is kind of in the same boat of, what is it even for? You can use it with perks like Blast Mine, which we'll talk about later in the Dead by Daylight Perk Encyclopedia, or Wiretap, but aside from that, there's really no point in having Red Herring on unless you're memeing. And For the People, obviously For the People was negatively impacted by the whole For the People buckle up phase that was going on in Dead by Daylight. I still think it's a really good perk, but obviously it doesn't have the same type of oomph since they nerfed buckle up, but it's still a really good perk and it can be really clutch in certain situations with certain perks attached along with it. Next up on DVD Perk Encyclopedia, we're going to be taking a look at Felix Richter's 3 teachable perks. But until then, my friends, stay safe out there, and I'll see you out in the fog.